Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are when you watch this. Obviously here it's morning. Steph here from stefsifandos.com, and I want to speak today to resilience and hardening the mind and the body. But before I get there, I want to make a point on, it's such an important point, because everything we speak about really links back to our authentic nature or our authentic selves. And what that actually means is that, what that actually means is that when we live life fully and in wholeness, we're coming from a place of truth or integrity or authenticity. So I use those words interchangeably. And what that actually means is that our inner state, our outer state is reflective of our inner state. So our outward expression and the manner in which we express ourselves is reflective of our inner state, who we are as a person in its entirety. And that's really, really, really important to understand. So now, with that in mind, and that we link everything back to that, how does resilience or hardening the mind and the body allow us to better know ourselves? How does it allow us to get deeper into who we are? Well, let me explain, please. In life, there are challenging times. We will experience deep challenge. We will be pushed. We will be forced against what we feel like is a corner or a wall and a rock and a hard place, the metaphoric rock and a hard place. It is a hardening of the mind and a hardening of the body that allows us to persist through this challenge or this pain. It allows us to be present, and it allows us to focus. It allows us to understand why what is occurring is occurring. It allows us to fully engage in the experience. Now, in order for us to have a hardened mind and body, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment, is we need to practice. And we need to engage in something that I call the 3 Ps. And the 3 Ps are as follows: practice, persistence, patience. We must practice what it means to be resilient. We must have patience through this process. We must persist through sticking points. This is very, very important. And over time, as we expose ourselves to almost difficult situations, challenging situations, we become resilient to those situations. Think of it almost as a vaccine. When you're given a vaccine, you're exposed to that disease in minute quantities. The body then develops a resilience towards that. So what we do in our practice is we engage in activities. We engage in experiences that slowly make us more resilient, that harden us. Now, not to a point where it hardens us from the world or from others, or it hardens us emotionally. No, it builds a tolerance and resilience for difficulty and challenge and arduous times. So, for example, what does it mean to engage in activity or experience that hardens us? Simply put, physical exercise. Physical exercise is so important at high intensity, at endurance, and you start low, you start slow, and you build yourself up. When you develop that hardening of the body, what tends to happen is the mind follows as well. Also, when we meditate, we contemplate, we think, we engage our foresight, we are able to then also understand at greater depths the intricacies of life. And let me explain by what I mean by that as well. Very simply put, when we expose our mind to a situation that we feel may challenge us, or a concept that really pushes us emotionally, we expose ourselves mentally to that. We begin to explore it. What happens is we develop a tolerance and a familiarity. And that familiarity develops into a comfort. And when we're comfortable, we're open. When we're then open, we can deal with that problem or the perceived problem or that issue with greater efficacy, with a clarity, because we're open, we're responding, we're not reactive, we're not emotionally tight. And that's very, very important. So engaging in that mental, that cognitive awareness and exposure is of great assistance. And they're just two ways. So physical exercise, high intensity physical exercise or endurance-based exercise, and exposing the mind through processes of thought to situations that we know challenge us. So the edge of that situation softens. And there's just two ways to begin to become more resilient. So it's that exposure to an experience becomes familiar, that familiarity turns to comfort. That comfort that was once uncomfortable now can be dealt with in a very different way, in a very open way. Thank you for listening. Look forward to speaking with you very soon. Thank you so much.